Magical Moments group. It is Gina Kloes, and I'm broadcasting from my Magical Moments ranch here in Bend. And you know, so much is happening in this world right now, and so many people are concerned about the future, about their future health, their future wealth, and what will happen. And all of that uncertainty creates a lot of fear. I mean, have you ever been scammed? In the midst of all this, people are actually getting scammed. And you know, it's easy to dismiss those scam claims as something that might happen to other people because they're not so careful, not careful like we are. But scammers are getting really good and really savvy about really digging in online and taking away your hard-earned wealth. So that's what I want to talk about today. Price Waterhouse, oops, sorry for the jiggle. Price Waterhouse Cooper recently did a survey of business owners and entrepreneurs, and the number one concern they had, the number one concern was really online scammers and hackers, and how that cyber fraud will affect them personally and in their business. So I wanted to talk about today about a few ways that you can actually protect yourself. Yes, there are a few ways. So one is really check your accounts. First of all, make a list of all the accounts you have, your credit card numbers, your access numbers, your financial accounts, and those numbers and how you access those, and make a list of those so you have a really long, accurate, specific list. And put on your calendar that you check them once a week. I mean, 15 minutes, you check them once a week, and you make sure that everything's looking okay. Now, here's another tip. Trust me on this one. I learned from this one. I was scammed out of $250,000 by a cyber hacker who cloned my phone. So the other tip I have is make sure that you do not, do you really need your bank account information and your credit card information and your crypto accounts on your phone, or is that just a convenience? Well, what happened to me is I flew home one day and somebody had hacked into my accounts, and quickly they said, oh, forgot my password. The text was sent to my phone, which they cloned, and they were able to get everything from that. So make sure that on your business, your bank accounts, your business accounts, your credit cards, your crypto accounts, that you use a different email, an email that is not accessible on your phone. And I first of all suggest that you don't even put them on your phone, but have a different email, and even if you can, a different phone number where they can text. A reset for your accounts. I mean, it's just so important, and really keep track of your charges so that when you make a charge, you kind of track. And I know that sometimes you think, oh, that takes a lot of time. It's worth it. Keep track of your charges, because sometimes people where you charge will keep your credit card number and they'll throw a little charge in here or there, and they'll try and stay under the radar, and then you won't notice it for months. Same thing as your checking account. Check your checking account, because people, when you pay something by check, hopefully you're using checks very, very little these days, but they can clone checks. I've had that happen in my business account years ago. So keep track of your charges, and when you do that check in your accounts, make sure those charges are all yours. And then really have a plan for, let's just say it happens to you. Have a plan. Have somewhere a list of all the phone numbers for your financial accounts, the account numbers, who you call immediately, the cyber fraud departments immediately, so that you could quickly go down your list and really call them and say, hey, look, I've been hacked. Stop all my charges. Many credit cards have some protection for that, depending upon the type of credit card you have. And I would call your credit card companies and your banks and say, hey, look, what kind of protection is out there for me if I get hacked and someone makes a charge or withdraws money from my checking account that I didn't authorize? Can you please let me know? And maybe work with just the credit card companies and the banks that will actually protect you. You know, I actually had insurance, so while I lost $250,000, $100,000 of it was covered by my insurance. So check your homeowners policies and see if they have coverage for losses or theft based on cyber fraud. I was so lucky. I wish I had it up to 250, but I had just changed it to 100. So make sure that you have that. If you have a business, you know, you hear a lot about hackers going into businesses, going online and holding all of their content hostage for a Bitcoin ransom. It happened to a business that I was coaching. And my first question is, did you have business insurance to cover that? Because actually there is business insurance out there that will cover that. And the founder that I talked to said that he had just talked to his CFO and said, please get this. Of course, the CFO had not gotten that insurance yet and was fired immediately, but it still didn't recover the tons of money they had to pay to get unhacked. So business insurance and personal insurance is a very important tool in this day and age. So make sure that you have that, and remember this, nobody cares about your money and your wealth more than you do. So for those of you that have money managers, well, that's a whole different topic we're going to be covering in my Dare to Be Wealthy program, and how to determine whether you have a money manager that's a broker or a fiduciary. And the bottom line is you want a fiduciary rather than a broker. But check in with them on how often they're checking your accounts. And are they really someone that you can trust? I mean, well, or were they, or did you start using them because of a hot tip from someone? And know this, that while most money managers really care deeply about serving you, you have to hire someone that you can trust and that you care about, and it's with a reputable firm. I use Creative Planning, a fiduciary. I'll talk more about them in my program. And it's just so important. Look, you work so hard for your money, and very few people spend a lot of time keeping it. And so I want you to protect your assets. Make copies of all of your credit cards. Make copies of your checks. Keep them in a folder. Keep them in a safe. Use different phone numbers and emails for resetting those. Maybe set up double protection, and there's all kinds of authorization apps that really show that you're authentic, the authenticator apps, so you can use those too. Right now in this day and age, there are people that are hungry to take your money, your hard-earned money and your wealth, not only personally and in your business. So I don't think we need to live in a state of fear. We just need to be in a state of preparedness so that we prepare for any of these things that could happen to us. Heck, it happened to me. So I consider myself, savvy about this stuff. So we do need to pay attention to our money. Know that nobody cares about your money more than you. And what are you working so hard for? To save up this money and to have a nest egg. And we'll talk about that. Do you even have targets for how much you have to save? In the Dare to Be Wealthy program I'm launching, you'll learn about what your targets are. And in the meantime, protect your wealth. Do all of these various things that I've just shared with you. It's so important. And it's not one of these things you could say, hey, I'll get to it later. One more way, I'll have one more bonus item to share with you. Take your camera, take your phone, and videotape every room in your house. Open the drawers, open the closets, videotape all rooms. I'm up in Oregon, and there's so many homes that have been lost in the wildfires on the Oregon coast and down in California. And a lot of those people hadn't taken the time to document what they have. And if you own a home, your homeowner's insurance will only reimburse you for things that you can prove that you had. And for those of you that live in rental properties, you can actually get renter's insurance for this, and you should still do the same. Videotape everything, because once you settle with an insurance company, game over. So it's better that you're prepared, and the easiest way to do that is take 15 minutes and videotape every room. I hope this is helpful for you. Wealth right now is so important for all of us, especially in these uncertain times. And if this inspired you to learn more about wealth, knowing your worth, and really mastering your wealth, join me for our 6-week masterclass starting in November. And we are actually doing a bonus live masterclass in October. The link is above, Dare to Be Wealthy. I hope you'll join me. Until then, be well, be joyful, be inspired, be safe, and be prepared so that none of those wild-ass hackers out there can take your hard-earned money. God bless you all. Know that I'm holding you in my heart, and I hope to see you soon. Talk to you later.